Hello, here we are again, and this time we're going to be having a look at shapes, and we're going to be looking specifically at Pathfinder. Now the word Pathfinder is a little bit strange because in actual fact Pathfinder doesn't find paths, it actually creates new paths. Anyway, that being said, let's have a look at how we can create new shapes from existing shapes. So you can see here I have Pathfinder and Align up and running already. I'm just going to show you how I did that, because sometimes it may not actually be there when you open up Illustrator. So we go to Window, go to Pathfinder, or go to Shift Control plus F9. And there it is. Now I actually had those together initially, but I have pulled them apart, okay, so that I can actually work with both. And there's a good reason for that. Right. Let's have a look at these two shapes. I'm just going to draw over it with my cursor, which is this. Okay, draw over it. They're both selected. I want that to be exactly in the middle of there, in the center. So you can see how this Align tool is really clever. And do you see that? It's perfect. The computer has worked out exactly where everything should go. So center. Center. Now it doesn't look quite right, so that must be because the star here is not perfect, but the center mark is exactly in the center. Okay, there's another way we can do it. We can get our star, we put it over, and see how now we've got this green thing in the middle. Whoop, see that? Up, down, intersect. That means it must be perfectly. Okay, we'll just check that. Center, center, yeah, it's perfect. So you can do this by making sure that your Smart Guides is on. It's just there, it's in View, Smart Guides, and then you can see it. It's very helpful. You've got other things here such as your Show Grid, so you might like to use a grid. Let's have a look at that. If that's a bit annoying, hide grid. The grid's very good because it can actually make you place things in exact spots, but at the moment we don't need it. We're just going to have a look at this. Alrighty, so we had the star and the circle together. What do we want to do with it? We want to make those two a part of each other but actually create a new shape. You cannot do this unless both of these shapes are actually turned on. Okay, so same thing. Now you can see that they're grouped. We go over here and it says Unite. So we can go Alt click and add to shape area. So let's see what happens. Alright, we've created a brand new shape. Undo. There's our shapes again. Okay. Next thing. Let's take them apart. We want to subtract. So remember what we did last time. Center, center. Here we go. Beautiful. Subtract means that we want this bit to disappear out of the shape. So we need to group, and we go up here, minus front, subtract. And there you have it. Okay. Control Z. Back to where we were, let go, take that over there. The next thing we want to do is to make these shapes intersect and create something different again. So, get these, make sure it's nice and centered, and we're going to go to intersect. Wow, okay. Control Z. Undo. The next thing is exclude. So it'll be actually the opposite of what we've done. Both things need to be turned on. We know they're already aligned, but let's just double check. And the last one, exclude. There we go. Now, the beauty of this is, once you create all these shapes, each one of these becomes a brand new shape. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, Control Z. You might have seen what happened there. When I use this, which is my selection tool, it selects everything, the whole shape. When I select my direct selection tool, click on it, now I've got my different shapes. Just remember not to be on apart. Make sure you're right in the middle so you don't drag things. Now you're probably wondering, what good is that? The good is that you can create a lot of different shapes without going through the heartache of actually starting from the beginning. So you can use different shapes to create more shapes from that. And as you can see, once we start moving these, it can become quite interesting. So we get some really great geometrics and all that sort of stuff. So that is our add, subtract, intersect and exclude. And these things will be very, very handy when you actually create your invitation that we're going to be doing a bit later on for Cloud School. So something to think about, that's your add, subtract, intersect and exclude. Okay, now we're back to our star and our circle. But I've also created another shape. Here it is. It's a square. Now, if you make a new shape and you put it there, normally what will happen is that will be on the top. I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to right click, I'm going to arrange, and I'm going to bring to the front. Normally that's what is going to happen. Each new shape will be above the other. Now you just saw what I did then. So I click on it with my right button, I go to arrange and I go center back. You can do that with any shape. It doesn't matter which one. Let's try this one. Arrange, center back. Okay? We want this to be in the front, so arrange, bring to front. There we go. Now we've got it all in order. That's good. So this time we have 4 shapes instead of just the 2. And let's see what happens when we hit add for this one. Cool. Let's see what happens if we hit subtract. Okay. Intersect. Good. And the next one is exclude. Alright, so you can see here that it's creating even more interesting things, particularly in exclude. So the more shapes you have, the more things are going to be happening there. Alright. Back to where we were. Now let's have a look at some other things that we can achieve here. There are other things in our pathfinder. We'll start with divide. Once again, get our cursor over the top, divide. Okay, now we've got all these shapes here. If we break them apart, you can see. Whoop. Remember, be careful not to get one of these anchor points here. Alright, so you can see that that is all separate parts. Alright, Control Z, Control Z. Let's try something else. Oh, and Control Z, of course. Yep. Okay, the next thing is trim. So let's have a look and see what trim does. Let's get our parts. Okay, we've still got the star there, but now we've got these individual parts here. Very good. So then after the trim, let's have a look at merge. Now they're all merged. What parts have we got here? There, there. Good. Okay. Crop. Select all. Crop. We have nothing. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Z, okay, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Let's put that back there. Okay, let's do that again. Over there, crop. Okay, now you can see because I went through all these different things and I didn't go Control Z right up to the beginning, it created a different effect. So you've just got to watch that. Control Z. Okay, and I'm making sure that I'm actually on the selection tool. The next one we want to do is outline. So that was crop. And there we go, outline. Here we go. And the next one, Control Z, is minus back. Let's see what happens then. Alright, Control Z. So there are many, many options in there. Remember, whatever tool you're on is what's going to actually make it happen where you are in this. So if you're moving around, moving from one thing to the other, it could possibly affect the next one. So these are all our pathfinders done.